Hello and welcome back to another fun project. I'm Jenny from A Stamping Journey. Have you made a diagonal gatefold card before? I'm going to show you in this video. So I'll give you the measurements in metric and in inches. So if you're not ready to make one, you can save the video and follow along later. I'll also send out the written instructions to my newsletter subscribers next week. So if you're not on that list yet, you can find out in the comments in the description how to join my newsletter list. Firstly, let's have a look at the card. I've got a wrapper around it that keeps it closed, and it's an extra way of decorating it. So that easily slides off and opens. But there's an extra surprise inside. You can open the flap and put your greeting inside. It just adds an extra dimension to your card. So what you're going to need, you can choose your card based on something that coordinates with the pretty papers that you've used. So your measurements for your base, that will be 29.7 centimeters by 14.8 centimeters, 10.5 inches by 5 inches. Your inside flat piece, it's good to have and the color the same, but if you want a different color, that's all right too. That piece will be 28.8 centimeters by 9.6 centimeters, or 9.5 inches by 3 5/8 inches. I'll go through the scoring of that shortly. Let's check out what else you'll need. You'll want to have 2 pieces of white card, both the same measurements. These are 14 centimeters by 9.2 centimeters, or 5.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Now, choose your pretty papers that you would like to use. I've used the flowering zinnia papers. So for the front, you're going to have 2 pieces exactly the same size. You want to because you need to cut them diagonally and you're going to flip them. So you'll need 2 pieces. You can always reserve the other pieces, put them aside for another card later. So this piece for the front will be 9.4 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters, or 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And for your pretty paper inside, I kept that print plain just so it doesn't take away from the busyness if you've got a busy print on the front. This paper is actually from the Delightful Floral paper, but it coordinates so well with it. So for this one, this measures 13.6 centimeters by 8.8 centimeters, or 5 1/4 inches by 4 1/8 of an inch. Now then you'll have some extra pieces for decoration, but we'll get that into that shortly. Firstly, let's score your card. If you take your larger piece for your base, bring in your paper trimmer. You're going to score that across the top at 9.8 centimeters in. So line up your card to 9.8 centimeters. Just bring that down a bit so you can see properly. That will be 9.8 centimeters, or at 3 1/2 inches. So you're going to score that. Make sure you don't use that trimmer blade. And the same from the other end. So just take it out, give it a flip to the other end, score it once again at 9.6 centimeters, or 3 1/2 inches. We'll give that a score too. While we've got this here and we've got the trimmer, we're going to cut our diagonals. So what you'll want to do is we're going to line up the top of this score measurement on the track, and then put the corner in that track there. So you can see either way. It is much easier using a trimmer. If you don't have a paper trimmer, you might need to draw a line in pencil and cut that out with scissors. But I find the paper trimmer so much easier. So if you've got that lined up, hopefully you can see that coming down. I've got that on the track there. You may not be able to see that right now. Cut that. Now, just a tip, when you're cutting from a corner point, start on the card so then it doesn't drag your card in a little bit, scrunches up the corner bit. So you can go down and go up to there. We'll turn that around and we'll do the same again. We're going to line up that top score measurement here and just give that a little wiggle around. Hopefully you can see that I'm lining up the corner point with down here. If I just move that trimmer up so you can get an idea, hopefully you can see that. We're just putting that corner point, the same when we were doing it before, in that track line. So let's bring that back down again. So just making sure that lines up. It's a good idea to always check as you're moving the card that it meets at those points. Once again, we're cutting it, starting on our card, going up, going down. So we have our measurements like that. Now for our inside piece, you're going to score that at 14.4 centimeters, or it is 4 3/4 inches. So whoops, I nearly cut that. Make sure you get that little trimmer blade out of the way. Have your scoring blade there. If you don't have the scoring blade, you can use a bone folder, which will just grab one of those, and that will go in your track and score down like that, following the track line. So that will score that piece in half. While we've got the trimmer here, also we're going to cut our pieces of designer series paper. Once again, putting the top left corner in that track down to the bottom right corner. Just keep checking it, making sure it lines up. Once you're happy with that, we'll give that a cut, starting on your paper. Cut up and back. Now if we were to just flip that, that wouldn't line up with our fold. That's why we need our second piece. This time we're going to cut the opposite corner. So this time from our top right corner down to our bottom left. Line those up in our tracks and then cut that through. So then you'll have two pieces. Save these other two, and that can be used for another card. Of course, if you wanted an alternate print on your other fold, you could just use the same piece and turn it, you'll have one pattern and one print. That's entirely up to you. You might like that idea. So, but if you're using the same pattern, you'll need two pieces. Hopefully that makes sense for you. So we're going to get the pieces that we need, put that aside. We're finished with our trimmer now, so let's get that out of the way. Coming back to our original piece, our base card, we have our pieces. We're going to fold on the score lines. Just slide that out of the way. Give that, use your bone folder and run that along. That will crisp up that fold. The same on this side. Give that a nice crisp. Press down. You'll want to press down on your inside piece as well. Give that a rub down. Now, to assemble this, grab your glue. I like to use the multi-purpose glue because then I can wiggle it in place. So just get that, place your adhesive around the back of that. And you can add that inside your card. It just sits up from the bottom edge, so you have a little gap around the outside of your card. Then you can use one of your white pieces. Now inside our card, I have stamped, choose what sentiment you liked. When you cut your pieces of designer series paper, you'll have a little bit left over. And so you can just add that to the bottom of your card. It just makes a nice little extra addition when you're opening your card. You'll add your piece of pretty, isn't that pretty print as it is? Just center that on your card mat. And you can, oops, make sure that's straight. And then we're going to put that on our front. Getting a little bit low. If you find it's running loud, just give it a squeeze. I find that really helps. That just warms up the glue a little and lets it run out a bit better. And if you've got too much glue like I've got here, just add some scrap, get some scrap paper and press it down. So you find that that is going to ooze out and just make a little mess, and we don't want that to happen. So add that into inside your card. Then you can add your little flaps on there. So we're going to just stick that down. I'm not going to finish the card completely today because I think the main thing is you want to see the particular measurements and how it all works. So what I'm going to do is just assemble the card, show you how to put the wrapper on it, and then you can go off and make your own. I'd love to see them. I love when people share their cards with me. They send it to me in email or over Facebook, and I love to see their version of it. So do that if you'd like to. I'd love to see how you've made them. We'll put that down on there as well. Now I'll just show you how to do the wrapper. Now for this longer piece, I didn't give you the measurements for that before. I have used a piece, the zinnia paper as well, 25 centimeters by 4 centimeters, or 28 inches by 1 3/8 of an inch. Of course, you could make it any width you like. You don't have to have a wrapper on it if you don't want to, but I thought it was a nice addition. What I've done to put that together, I've just laid it down on the paper. You could fold it over, or to make sure you get that crisp look, just run your bone folder down either side of your card. Then you can easily fold over those ends and you'll adhere that together on there. Then let's have a look. We'll get the card, we'll get the finished, how we put it together. Our wrapper slides over there. I've decorated with the Simply Zinnias dies. You could add a sentiment, add a flower, any kind of image there. I've added a sentiment there, down there this time. Inside it, I have cut some of the flowers from this Simply Zinnia paper. I think flowering zinnia. I keep calling it the Simply Zinnia paper. That's the bundle. This is the flowering zinnia paper. So just cut out with scissors one of the flowers, or however you like. It's just a nice addition to have that inside. You can put one inside the flap as well. So what do you think? Are you going to give a diagonal gatefold card a go? I'd love to see how you go. And thanks for stopping by. Be sure to give the video a like. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, Give it a thumbs up. That all helps me and I appreciate it. Share it with a friend. But I hope you will join me in another video next time. So happy creating. Bye.